Welcome to episode 3 of the course on CaoDai by Hum Dak Bui MD and Hong Dang Bui MD. We will begin chapter 2, the goals of CaoDai.
There are two major goals in CaoDai. The first one, Nhân Đạo Thái Bình, or the Human Tao is peace, means that our secular life is to bring peace to us, to our family, and the community. In that part, we will also see the unification of the 5 ways of the Tao. Second, Thiên Đạo Giải Thoát, or the Divine Tao is liberation, is the culmination of our cultivation in order to reach enlightenment and liberation and union with God. It realizes the phrase Thầy là các con là Thầy. I am you, my children, and children, you are me.
Learning objectives. Understand that the human Tao, or the secular life, is to create peace. How is peace realized in secular life? Know the basic teachings of Confucius, Lao Tse, and Buddha. The unification of the 5 ways of the Tao, the observance of love and justice, the observance of the 5 precepts, the application of the triple-fold path, Tam Kong and Tam Lap. Understand the oneness between God, humanity, and all in the universe. Understand that all in the universe receive a spark from the divine spirit. All human are spiritual beings destined to return to the divine source.
1. Nhân Đạo Thái Bình. The human Tao is peace.
A fundamental message and teaching of CaoDai theology is the realization of peace in the person, his family, and the community at large, which is expressed in the first of the 2 phrases summarizing the journey of a human being.
Nhân Đạo Thái Bình, or the human Tao is peace.
The second arm being
Thiên Đạo Giải Thoát, or the divine Tao is liberation,
which will be subject for the next section of principle of CaoDai.
Nhân Đạo Thái Bình, or the human Tao is peace, relies on 1. The unification of the 5 ways of the Tao. 2. The main teachings of Confucius, Lao Tse, and Buddha. 3. The observance of love and justice. 4. The observance of the 5 precepts. 5. The practice of the triple-fold path. We will see today the unification of the 5 ways of the Tao and the main teaching of Confucius, Lao Tse, and Buddha. For the unification of the 5 ways of the Tao, please see also chapter 1. Through history, religions can be grouped in 5 ways, manifested in 3 revelations. The 5 ways are the way of humanity, the way of local spirits, the way of saints, the way of immortals, and the way of Buddhas. The 5 ways were distinct at the first revelation 5,000 years ago, and at the second revelation 2,500 years ago. At the third revelation, God united the religions. CaoDai, or the third universal salvation, is founded, in which we observe the culmination of unity and inclusiveness of all religions. The unification is possible as all religions come from one same divine source and are all beautiful, diverse manifestations of the same truth, and all religions have the same teachings of love and justice, peace and enlightenment.
The main teachings of Confucius, Lao Tse, and Buddha. From one root sprint off 3 counterpart stems. Once it is well comprehended, we shall purify ourselves and pray. CDEP 2016, page 33. In this section, the pearls of Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, which constitute the core of the CaoDai faith, will be offered to the readers in simple words. Nurturing life is the basis for Confucian practice. The divine principle is to create and nurture. In order to nurture life conforming to the divine principle, the person needs to learn the 4 virtues
of nhân, nghĩa, lễ, trí,
or humanness, righteousness, civility, and wisdom. Humanness, or the conduct of a human, is the expression of our intimate, natural conscience and love. Eternally, it is to preserve the purity of our conscience, and externally, it is to spontaneously show love to living beings. Righteousness expresses those actions which conform to the divine principle. So it represents the external manifestation of humanness. Civility helps shape our attitudes and actions towards our fellow humans. As we follow the divine principle, one of the aspects of basic civility manifests through our respect to our elderly, taking extra care to be of assistance and showing patience and tolerance towards them. Wisdom assists us in understanding what the conscience sees as good, as right, in order to avoid bad deeds.
Taoist principle can be captured in the word natural, and the word natural is captured in the phrase Wu Wei, W-U-Wei, which is non-action. And these are blended in the Tao described by Lao Tzu as beyond form, beyond sound, beyond touch. Empty and silent, the Tao creates and nurtures. We recognize here the same concept as in Confucian principles of humaneness and righteousness. And yet the practical approach of Confucian and Taoist teaching, while being different, indeed complement each other. In Wu Wei, the Taoist, by not intervening, allows the universe to unfold its natural essence, conforming to the creation and nurturing of Confucianism. The picture of the newborn before the acquisition of human societal attributes is alluded to in Taoism. The Taoist cultivates self by quieting his physical senses, seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, touching, and thus taming his desires. Here Taoism merges with the essential teaching in Buddhism. The next message is no striving. In other words, no fight, no competition. Lao Tzu refers to this virtue as the virtue of water, giving life to all, conforming to all shapes of the containers, and always flowing to lower places. No striving or gentleness and submission will prevail over hardness and strength. Tao Te Ching, chapter 16 reads, "Empty yourself of everything, your mind will rest in peace."
The Buddhist aspect in Vietnamese tradition is well ingrained with the classic Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. The Four Noble Truths include the reality of suffering, the origin of sufferings residing in craving or desire, the truth of cessation of sufferings in controlling the craving, the truth of cessation of sufferings through practicing the Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path consists of right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. Among these, right view and concentration give the most important applications in the realization of Buddhahood. The Buddhists insist on the impermanence of existence and on reliving suffering through detachment from secular happenings. Although it may appear that Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism represent three different traditions, they, they in fact all point to this realization of peace for humanity, following the transcendence of secular attachments in order to attain harmony in self and in relationship with others. These three Eastern traditions form the core of CaoDai, manifested in the logo grouping the bowl of alms of Buddhism in yellow, the whisk of Lao Tse for Taoism in blue, and the spring and autumn book of Confucius in red. We stop here for today. Next episode will address love and justice, the 5 precepts. Thank you for listening.